You can hit a tennis ball in different ways. You can hit it totally flat and without any spin. In this case, your racket must hit the ball centrically in the center of mass. If you use the analogy of a clock, you hit the ball exactly in the center of the dial. In theory, you could also hit a ball with pure topspin and without any speed. In this case, you must hit the ball eccentrically from the bottom up, or, when using the analogy of the clock, from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock. With a very steep swing path of your racket, you can hit the ball with heavy topspin, or with moderate topspin when the swing path is not as steep. You could also hit the ball with pure backspin. Then your racket must hit the ball eccentrically from top to bottom, so from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And with the steep swing path of your racket, you can hit the ball with heavy backspin, or with moderate backspin when the swing path is not as steep. You can divide the force of each tennis shot into a horizontal and a vertical part, where the horizontal part stands for speed and the vertical part stands for spin. Here you can see the actual dwell time, respectively dwell distance, of the ball on your racket. Let's assume you hit a tennis ball with topspin from left to right. The airstream works against the ball velocity on top and on bottom of the ball, like shown here. At the bottom of the ball, the air velocity works into the same direction like the spin, while it works into the opposite direction on top of the ball. This results in a state of high air pressure on top of the ball, and a state of low air pressure at the bottom of the ball. And this results in a force that literally pulls the ball down, the Magnus force. Okay, to sum it up. On top of the ball, the spin direction is opposed to the airstream, which leads to a high air pressure on top of the ball. At the bottom of the ball, the spin direction and the direction of the airstream are the same, which results in a low pressure on bottom of the ball. This under pressure pulls the ball down. The influence of this force will become even stronger the more the forward velocity of the ball is slowed down due to air resistance. And this results in a very steep drop of the ball at the end of its flight. On backspin shots, the Bernoulli effect works into the opposite direction. Since the spin and the particles of the air work into the same direction on top of the ball, a low pressure occurs on top of the ball. This low pressure results in a force pulling the ball up into the opposite direction to the force of gravity, and it makes the ball sail through the air. Here you can see the typical ball trajectories for a topspin stroke, a backspin stroke and a flat stroke. A topspin shot bounces on a tennis court. The ball slides a bit on the surface. The angle of incidence is A. You could expect a similar angle of deflection A. But due to the sliding of the ball and the friction of the court surface, the angle of deflection is actually B. So the angle of deflection of a topspin shot B is actually smaller than its angle of incidence A. Here you see a backspin shot bouncing on a tennis court. The ball is sliding on the court surface. The angle of incidence is A. You could expect the ball to rebound from the court in a similar angle A. But due to the sliding and the friction of the court surface, the ball actually rebounds off the court in a larger angle B. The angle of deflection of a backspin shot B is actually larger than its angle of incidence A. It might be a little surprising, but due to the friction of the court surface and the sliding of the ball, every shot, no matter if it bounces with topspin or backspin, contains some amount of topspin after the bounce. These results might seem a little counterintuitive at the first glance, since our playing experience tells a different story. We actually feel that topspin shots rebound off the court much steeper and higher than backspin shots. But this is just due to the different ball trajectories of topspin shots and backspin shots. Since the trajectories of topspin shots are usually much steeper at the end of the flight, the ball bounces on the ground in a much steeper angle of incidence than on backspin shots. Hence we experienced a steeper rebound off the court on topspin shots than on backspin shots. This effect is furthermore amplified due to the fact that due to friction and the sliding of the ball on the court surface after the bounce, every ball, no matter if it bounces on the ground with topspin or backspin, will contain some topspin after rebounding off the ground. A ball that bounces on a hard court without any spin, for example, will rebound off the court with as much as 2000 revolutions per minute. Let's talk about heaviness in tennis strokes. If you hit a tennis ball with full power and totally flat from the baseline over the net, this ball will definitely hit the opposite back fence without touching the ground. If you want to hit your shots with full power over the net and still want to keep them within the boundaries of the lines, you need topspin. If topspin and speed are combined in one and the same shot, we talk about heaviness. Male world-class players play very heavy. That is, they combine shot speeds of up to 85 miles per hour with spin rates of up to 4,800 revolutions per minute. Heaviness gives players the opportunity to play with sufficient margins over the net and to the lines while still playing very aggressive at the same time. This feature is being amplified by the extremely aggressive rebound of the ball from the ground. Remember, a ball hit totally flat will contain about 2000 revolutions per minute of forward rotation after the bounce. You can easily imagine what this means for a ball that bounces on the ground already with 4800 revolutions per minute. Here you can see the average spin rates of top players in the year 2013. And here the average net clearance in the same year. And here the average bounce height of their forehand shots. Those numbers perfectly indicate what heaviness means. Due to the steep ball trajectory, topspin shots are perfectly suited to play with good margins over the net and to the lines. They're also perfectly suited to play consistent and aggressively at the same time. They're perfectly suited to play sharp angles and open up the court, and they're perfectly suited for angled passing shots and topspin lobs. Due to the force division into a horizontal and a vertical part, they're perfectly suited to put pace off the ball. Due to the low and long ball trajectory, backspin shots are perfectly suited to play deep balls without much effort. They're perfectly suited to keep the bounce of the ball low and force the opponent to hit up on the ball. Due to the slower pace of the ball, they're perfectly suited to defend and to buy some extra time for recovery, and they allow more time to follow an approach shot up to the net. Due to the force division into a horizontal and a vertical part, they're perfectly suited to slow down the ball, for example for the put-away volley or the drop shot.